Hey guys, so we're putting foam around the perimeter of the ICF foundation here. This particular one here, we're doing 2 feet of foam all the way around it because we got the 2 feet of ICF and we got 2 feet going out. In our area, it's required to put 4 feet of foam combination between the vertical and the horizontal. You want 4 feet, so our grade's going to be up about here, so we're going to have 4 feet. 2 down and 2 out. That's how we're doing it. We're gonna fill these porches with foam too, because frost can get down through the top of your porch. So we're gonna lay foam down in there too, but that's how we do it. This is a frost protected foundation. Lane's got some sand in there. It's all sand over here, so he's just backfilling, putting some sand on his foam to keep it from moving. One thing I forgot to mention, this foam should have a little pitch to it, guys. I don't know if it shows in the video, but there's actually a pitch. So any water that gets in here, you want it to run away. So our foam right there has probably got about 1.5 inch pitch on it and 2 feet. That's gonna keep any water running away. Yeah, this is all sand. I mean, it's bone dry over here. Even when it rains, it doesn't even make a mud puddle. The boys are over there raking it out. We're kind of flattening it out as we go here. You want to have a pretty good surface to set your foam in. You don't want to just like lay it like right there where it's all jagged and stuff. You kind of want to rake it out. We use these come-alongs, concrete come-alongs. And we just make it nice. Dwayne's just spritzing a little sand where we need it. So we're gonna get a nice flat area to set the sand. Well, not flat, pitched, but we're giving a nice surface for it. And our footing's right below there, guys. It's right below there. That's where our pipes are sticking through. Those conduit pipes. We're just above them. So this is the depth. We're just using that sand. And then we're gonna take our come along right here, just flatten it out. Big biscuit. You're turning red, biscuit. You're gonna be
on my tan.
You're gonna be a burnt biscuit.
It's a combination of sunburn and just BB.
Yeah. He likes to go shirtless. I don't. Dustin, you'll fry if you go shirtless. Redhead, he's got his hat on and everything. Covering up our foam here, guys. Laying down the skid. And the boys are over there filling in the porches with foam. Rowan's right there for moral support. It warmed up, I'll tell you. It's like 80 degrees today here, which is warm for New York this time of year. See these rocks like that? We don't want them in there. We kick them out of the way. That's what we're doing. That's how we did this back porch, guys. Just put our 2 foot around the front porch. We just filled right in the whole thing because it's a small porch. But this one, we just did our 2 foot around the whole thing. We're burying it in sand. Lane's got the big pile of sand there. That's what we're up to. Hey guys, Bondo here. We are over to Dwayne, my excavator guy, house that we did the mono pour on. And we got Kyle and son over here spraying some foam. What's up?
Lay down a little foam for you.
Yeah, baby. Logan's laying her down. This is Kyle and son here. If you've seen some of my videos, they do a bunch of work for us. They're going to spray ground here, and then we're gonna lay our tubing down. So this is like a tack coat. They go over it once with a tack coat, and then he will come back and he's gonna spray that foam 2 inches thick. And then we are going to staple the tubing down to the foam with, he actually has one of those staplers. They have it and they're gonna let us borrow it today. Dwayne doesn't want wire in his floor. He doesn't like wire mesh, so we are not gonna put any wire in it. We're just going to staple the tubing down to the foam, and then we're gonna try to pour this today, but I don't know if we will have time. They've been having a little issue with their equipment. But this is what the tack coat looks like, guys. That hardens up pretty quick. Still just a touch soft, but it kind of locks everything together. Then they go back over it. So we will keep you posted. I'll try to get a little more video footage of this when I get back. I'm gonna go, we just got back from another job. But that's how they do it. They got a fully enclosed trailer with all their equipment in there, and they're just gonna get this done for us. And this is gonna hold this heat in for this radiant heat on this house. Stay tuned. All right, guys, they got it all sprayed up here. 2 inches thick. It's only been like a little bit, and it's already hard as a damn rock. So really nice. It's definitely the best way to do your in-floor radiant heat. Also, this makes your floor a lot stronger. This floor is going to be way stronger than it would have been with board foam on there. Board foam definitely not nowhere near as strong as this. I feel like this is adding almost like adding 2 more inches of concrete underneath it. So we are going to put our radiant tubing down here with the staple gun, snap some lines, and I'll show you how we do that. And then we'll be hopefully pouring some concrete today. Stay tuned. I'll give you another shot of these guys. They got their tack coat on, and now he's laying in his 2-inch lift. So they went over everything with that tack coat. He's just laying it right in there. That's how he checks it. He's got a little stick. He checks his depth. That way they know they're getting a good 2 inches of foam there. Looking really good. We got to get to work because we got concrete coming. Stay with us. Okay, guys, so we got our line snapped. We snapped lines every foot along the length of here. We're going to run our tubing lengthwise for the most part. There's a utility room over here. So I measured these lines. So these lines are 44 feet long, and there's 11 of them. So I wrote the size here, 484 feet. So this over here section where it gets shorter because of this jog is 31 feet. Right there, I wrote 31 feet. So there's 11 of them. So I'm at 341 feet. So 484 for this section, 341 for this section. Add them together is 825. Divide that by 3 because we want 3 loops, and we're going to end up at 275 feet per loop. So we're starting over here in the header. This is the fancy stapler that we borrowed. We're just trying this out. If we like it, we're going to probably switch over to this way. And we snapped some cross lines here at 1 foot because we have to start over here by Dwayne. He's marking out his wall so that we can put our tubing like right along the side of his wall. That's pretty cool. Yeah. What do you think of that, Dustin? Huh? Gopher? Alright, we're gonna get started, guys. Rolling this tubing out, stapling it down. Stay with us. Alright, guys, we are rock and rolling. This is quick. Real quick. Dustin's rolling her out. You need a foot mark there at jam. So like I said, we had those measurements and they added up to, what'd they say, 825 or whatever. And thanks, buddy. We'll see you. Good job. Nice and flat. These guys did an excellent job on this spray foam. It is wicked flat. Super good job by Kyle and Son. If you need spray foam in Central New York area, guys, 315-804-3626. That's Kyle and Son. They do a nice job. So back to the tubing layout. We're looking for 275 here, guys. So this, we got a 1,000-foot roll here. And with that being said, we are going to subtract our 275 from 1,000, which is 725. So when that roll gets to 725, that means we are going back to our header area. So we're going to keep an eye on that length of that tubing as we go. And so we have 3 loops. We want to keep these loops the same length if we can, the best we can. Stapler works really quick. It's easy on the back too, huh, Jay? Once we get our 3 foot, we're stapling every 3 feet. Once we establish that across there, we're just following right along. You just lining the staples up like this, just walking down through. This is definitely quicker than tying it, no doubt. Easy on the back too. I guess we gotta get a staple gun now.
Yeah, that means you have to have everything spray foamed, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the staples don't work super good, I've been told, into board foam. They work really good in spray foam, but not board foam, because the board foam tends to move around and the staples end up popping. So we might stick with the wire mesh when we're using board foam. But for this, we are gonna do it with the staples. Stay tuned. I'll show you when we go to our next loop here.
Right all the time.
All right, guys, we are ready for concrete. Got Mike and Chris here, ready to rip. Biscuit's just sweeping off some dirt around the edge so that doesn't blow around the floor. We are going to shoot this in with a front loader. So we'll probably come in from the side where Biscuit is and shoot as far as we can, and then come around to these doors and shoot it straight in. We're gonna work our way from the back this way. There's a couple inches of pitch in this floor. So we're gonna get just this garage section today. And then Saturday we're gonna pour the house section. Just trying to make the house section a little smaller. And plus there's a step here, so we gotta land this concrete on top of this concrete. I'll show you how we do that later. Our mud's, looks like our mud right there, huh?
Yep.
Here comes the mud, guys, just like the shirt says right there. Here it comes. I better get my boots on.
I do remember doing this pole bar.
Yeah, last year we did it.
Yeah,
That's the one that didn't crack.
Yep.
Not one crack in it. We didn't saw cut it either.
Nice.
Here they come. Circle T, baby. 315-963-2231 for your concrete needs. We're gonna pull him around the side here. We're gonna shoot you in here. I don't know if you want to back in and shoot that. It's up to you. You can turn around here anywhere. Alright guys, I gotta get my boots on. I'll put this bad boy on a tripod. Stay with us. Marrows are just as expensive.
Are they? Oh yeah. I did find the one.
Hey guys, Bondo here. So we're going to pour this slab out here. You can see we did it a little different here. We stapled the tubing down to the spray foam.
So we got 2 inches of closed cell spray foam here. And we had Kyle and Logan spray this down, as you've seen in the video. And we stapled with that staple gun they let us use. I'm probably going to get one of these staple guns. I wanted to put the wire mesh on top of the tubing, and then we could have pulled it up. But the homeowner did not want to put any wire in this slab for some reason. He seemed like he was worried that it would damage his tubing. So he insisted. He just wanted fiber mesh in the concrete. He wanted no steel in there, no rebar, no wire, nothing. So that's how we did it. We just went with his recommendation. I recommended putting metal in there. We poured his barn floor, and I did a video on it, and it has no cracks in it. And we did put wire in there, but it didn't have tubing. So this being his house right here at the same place, he was worried about the wire poking into the tubing. So, you know, it's his house, so we did it how he wanted it, and this is how we did it. And Kyle and Logan let us use their staple gun, like I said. So we'll probably get one of those staple guns for the future. It's definitely easier on your back. You don't have to sit there and tie the tubing to the wire. It's more of a pain to lay it out because you got to snap a bunch of lines on the spray foam, but it's not that bad. We snap those lines pretty quick, and you can lay the tubing really fast with the staple gun. So that worked out pretty good. This garage section came out pretty good. We're just hand screeding it here. We're using a laser screed to set our marks, and just like we always do. And that's Mike bow floating it there. We just were able to dump right out of the truck on this one. We didn't need a pump or nothing because you could drive right around this site. But this is that new Dura foundation that we did where we poured the stem wall and the footer at the same time. I'll put a link to that video where we poured the walls on this thing. And you've seen the frost protected detail there because we live in New York State, upstate New York, and we do have a 48-inch frost line. So if you don't go down 48 inches with your stem walls, you have to put that styrofoam around them. And that styrofoam just acts as, it takes the place of the dirt. So you don't go down, if you don't go down all the way and you don't have all that dirt to protect from frost, that styrofoam actually takes the place of that dirt, and it'll do the same thing for you. So you don't have to go down as deep, and you can save a little bit of money, but you do need that foam. So that's why we did it that way. Stay tuned, guys. We'll finish this pour here. This concrete we're pouring here, guys, is 4,000-pound concrete. It's got some fibers in it for reinforcement. It's got these microfibers in it, like fiberglass fibers. And that's what the homeowner wanted in there for reinforcement, like I said. But you can see we didn't pour this really wet, guys. We don't generally pour concrete wet. We don't add a lot of water to it. There's no super plasticizer or nothing in this. We're just pouring out like a nice 5.5 slump right here. So this is really good concrete. We're gonna get our 4,000-pound yield out of it because the way we're pouring it. You don't want to take a 4,000-pound concrete and wet it all down and end up with like a 3,000 pound concrete because you added too much water.
Here's our second truck, guys. We got 5.5 yards. We'll see if it makes it. Not sure if it's gonna, but I think it might be pretty close. Luckily the plant is not too far away. We need a little bit of a splash of a balance. This is 15, this will be the 15.5 once we're done here. It is pretty thick. It's at least 5.5 thick. Might be a little more in some spots.
So guys, let's talk about this insulation for a little bit. This house is actually built, and I'm pretty close with the guy that we built this house for, this foundation for it. And he's living in this house, and this house, we're in the winter time right now, and this house, he said, is heating really good, and he's spending pennies a day heating this thing. So don't be fooled by some of these products that they put under concrete, you know, this bubble wrap and stuff that's a 1/4 inch thick. That's not going to work that good for you. We did pour some concrete on top of some different kinds of insulation, and we always check back and see how it works. And we find that 2 inches of closed cell styrofoam is the best way to do it. Either board foam, or the best way is this spray foam. You get 2 inches of seamless spray foam like this. There's no seams in it. There's your vapor barrier. You don't need to put plastic or nothing down. That's going to work the best. But the second best is going to be 2 inches of a closed cell polystyrene insulation, not polyiso insulation, polystyrene. You want a closed cell, stuff that's rated for underneath concrete. It's usually the pink or the blue board. And then if you put the tubing on there, you don't need to lift the tubing up into the concrete, and it will work really good. We've done a lot of these, and they really work good, and we live in a really cold area, so just think about that before you do yours. One time we poured a slab for somebody, guys, and we checked back how it performed, and they used this tarp product. It was an insulating tarp. I don't want to say the exact brand name of it, but it was, you can figure it out. It was an insulating tarp that's supposed to go underneath concrete. And they prepped everything themselves. It was a monolithic slab. It was about as big as this one here. And they had, a haunched edge, so they put this insulating tarp down underneath there, and it was supposed to be the vapor barrier and everything. And I kind of warned them against it. I said, you might want to put board foam under there, because we went and looked at the job, and they hadn't put the tubing or nothing down. I said, you might want to think about that insulation a little bit, because we'd heard before, we'd checked back on a couple other jobs that it didn't work very well. But they went ahead and they said that they had seen it done that way, and that's the way they wanted to do it. So against my my better judgment, we poured it. We were just hired to pour it. They had it all ready, so we poured it, and we checked back that winter with that guy. Like I said, he's a friend of ours. He was spending like over $1,000 to $1,500 a month to heat his house with propane, and they had perimeter insulation going down around it. They used styrofoam board for that, but that tarp didn't work very well. They ended up having to put a wood boiler in because he couldn't afford to heat his house. And here, this house, he's heating for pennies a day with the spray foam under it. So
Putting a hand finish on it, guys. Like these we like these garages hand finished so they're not so slippery. If we burn it in with the machine, it's going to get super slippery. That's what she's looking like right there. I'll give you a peek when we're done. Okay guys, we're here the next day. Here's our floor. We are going to cut and seal that today, but we just put down our tubing in our house, and it took us 2 hours to do with the staple gun. That staple gun that come from Amazon here. I'll show it to you. This apparatus right here. What's the called there? That's what she looks like. I'm gonna order one because we borrowed that, but that works slick, let me tell you. This is how we do these headers a lot of times, guys. We just take the electrical conduit and kind of put a board with a couple of stakes in the floor, and then we screw just a board or something across there to hold all the tubes in there. And we like to tape everything up, get it nice and neat, and then when we pour, we will actually strip that and pull those out of there once the concrete hardens up a little, so we can fill those stake holes and just get all that out of our way, and we can trowel around it nice. So that just holds the tubing right where we want it, protects it where it comes out of the slab. But this, the heating guy on this one wanted the loops like 300 feet, so that's what we did. I got a video on how to put this tubing down with the wire mesh, but we do the same process here. We take a 1,000-foot roll, we roll it, have one guy rolling the tubing. We don't use a coiler or nothing. Guy rolls the tubing out, and that staple gun, you can fly. But on this one, we did a grid pattern on 1 foot. We snapped 1 foot grid all the way across the whole thing, and then you can get your square footage really easy. Don't so much worry about the length like I did on the garage. Just measure your square footage, which is easy, because each one of these blocks is a foot. So I wrote my square footage right down. Like that section there was 420, that section was 434, and then you should have about a foot of tubing per square foot of area. So that gives you a ballpark, but that's how we did it. And these loops are all real close to 300. So everything worked out really good. We got 6 loops in the house here, and this house part is just under 1,800 feet. So 6 loops of 300 worked out good. In the garage, we ended up with 3 loops in the garage, and that's on the garage will be on its own zone. And then we separated that over here. This is the garage right here. These 6 pipes, which is 3 loops, 1 supply, 1 return for each loop. And there's our 12 pipes there for 6 loops. So that's what she looks like. We got our backpack sprayer now, guys. And we're gonna put on some of this curing seal. That's a water-based curing seal. It's gonna slow down the drying process a little bit. We got all our cuts made. He's just blowing the rest of the dust off. He just swept it. He blowed it off, and he blew it out. Swept it, and now he's hitting it one last time. I'm gonna strap this backpack sprayer on and give her a nice coat of curing seal. And then this garage is complete. And we're gonna pour this on Saturday. Today is Wednesday. Stay tuned. Look at that coverage. Oh, that's nice.